Hello, Oracles. My goodness, it has been quite busy for me lately. Been having inventory at work, stayed up until about 1:30 last night, got up again at 5. So yeah, it's been long, but you know what? It's been extremely exciting when it comes to Tesla. So yesterday we heard about Ford dropping prices on the Mach E. We will go over that. We've got Tesla dropping their 10K this morning. We had insured vehicle numbers coming out of China. We've got more information on another factory coming to Mexico. Lots of great information to go over today, and Tesla up almost 4% today, so we will get into all that in just a minute. All right, so looking at the charts, looks like we are kind of bouncing right off of that 180 level that we have here as this line of resistance. So we've bounced off of it twice. And again, we've got the FOMC meeting going on today and tomorrow. Tomorrow, we are going to be getting the official interest rate hikes, whether it's going to be a 25 basis point hike or a 50 basis point hike, will be determined tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Then Jerome Powell will be coming out shortly thereafter to give us his discussion on why they raised the interest rates the way they are and where they see the interest rates going in the future. Now, again, my personal feeling on this is that they are going to be raising interest rates 25 basis points and then waiting to see the inflation data for the next 2 months. And then over those 2 months, they are going to determine whether they should be raising another 25 basis points in March or if they are going to pause. We shall see tomorrow how this all transpires. And today we had pretty decent volume coming in, 196 million shares trading hands. We did dip down yesterday out of that overbought range of the RSI. We were at 72 and today we're at 66. So again, overbought is over 70. We are no longer in that range. Doesn't mean that we have to keep going up, but tomorrow I think the FOMC meeting is going to determine whether we are going to be bouncing up higher and maybe get close to that $200 level, or if we are going to be falling down and get back down to that $150 level. So we will wait and see tomorrow afternoon how this all plays out. And so now we're going to jump over to China, and we have the insured vehicle numbers that came out this morning. And so Moneyball coming in saying that last week we had 3,356 vehicles getting insured. The week prior to that was 7,496. The week prior to that was 12,654. Now, we do have to remember that we've been dealing with the Chinese New Year going on over there, so they've been enjoying that celebration, and this was totally expected to have these numbers coming down during this time frame. We also got some news, these rumors coming back out about a factory coming in Mexico. We've got Sawyer Merritt coming out breaking. Tesla is considering setting up an assembly plant near a New Mexico City airport, which would serve as an export hub for the firm, Mexican presidential spokesman Jesus Ramirez said. Ramirez said that Tesla could put a plant at an industrial park in development about 3 kilometers, 2 miles, from the Felipe Angeles International Airport. Quote, Tesla is looking at investing in the area to take advantage of AIFA, Ramirez told Reuters late on Monday, noting the site could serve as a base for the firm to export by air. Sawyer mentioned here maybe something is lost in translation with the quotes above, but in my opinion, it would be weird for Tesla to ship by air. It's a lot more expensive, and with their Tesla Semi now in production, it's better to just use those. And again, unless something is said directly by Tesla, take everything quoted with a grain of salt. And now we've talked about Mexico before as one of the options for the next factory. I do still think that the Asia Pacific region is going to be the next area that they are going to be building a factory on. We do have Shanghai right now. They have already given us the indication that they are not going to be ramping production any further over there for the course of this year. I'm sure they're going to be pushing out more vehicles than they did last year, but they're not looking to continue ramping at the pace that they did previously. So with that said, if that's the decision they're making over in Shanghai, we may see another factory coming up in another country over there. You have to remember that by the time they decide what's going to happen in that country, when they're going to be building that factory, breaking ground, building the factory, getting up to ramp, it's probably going to take about 2 years to get to that point. Shanghai went up in a year, and that was lightning fast. So I would say most likely 2 years to get the factory built and getting to volume production. And we have not even heard about the location yet. So if that's going to be said, and let's say they choose Indonesia, that's the place I believe they are going to choose. If that's the case, even if they announced it today, we would not see that factory to volume production until 2025. So we need to remember these things because that's 2 years down the road, and there's a lot of time between now and then for Tesla to make a lot of things happen. Now, with the economy the way it is, if we do end up getting a deeper recession, that could give Tesla a little bit more time because legacy auto right now is starting to struggle. We are seeing Ford dropping prices on their Mach E. They're not doing it significantly, but for a company that's not making money on their EVs, taking any sort of price cut whatsoever is just going to erode their margins even more, especially as they are trying to build up their EVs. Now, congratulations to Ford. I think they're making the right move on this. But then we have GM, on the other hand, who had their earnings coming out today. They have recently announced that they're going to be investing nearly $1 billion in a new V8 engine. So GM is clearly still pushing for gas models, and they're investing money in gas models despite the fact that it is not going to be the future for them. They also did say today on their earnings call that they're looking to slowly get into the EVs and not push it as fast. Now, when I'm looking at this information, seeing how quickly the EV adoption is taking over and GM deciding to go slower, that does not make very good logical business sense. They said they're playing this out for long term profits, but if they don't even get their foot in the door now, they might not even be making enough money. Now, my thoughts around this as well is GM probably realized that if we push for EVs right now and we spend money on the EVs right now, and we're not making money on those EVs right now, then they might actually go bankrupt even faster by pushing for EVs because they are not profitable. So they have no choice but to push vehicles that are going to be obsolete within the next decade or two. And if that's the case, then they're going to then be lingering. And so I think their strategy right now is push out as many ICE vehicles as they can because they get most of their profits from parts and service. So if they can continue to push out ICE vehicles as long as they possibly can, that means that they can make money on parts and service for even longer. To me, I think that's their strategy. And that's basically them saying, we can't keep up in the EV space. So we have to delay this because otherwise we will go under. And now Ford, on the other hand, they've been doing a very good job. They have already shrunk their business down. I think they're moving in the right direction, and I think Ford is going to be just fine. They're making aggressive moves right along with Tesla, and they're not too proud to say, you know what, we understand that what Tesla is doing is going to work, and they are going to be the leader. And we do not mind doing and copying some of what they are doing because we see that as the future. So good for Ford on doing that. We'll see how this all plays out in the long run. But you guys can let me know in the comments below what you think between Ford and GM and which one is making the right decision for the future. And now we did get Tesla coming out with their 10K this morning. So their 10K is their annual filing. This is where they give out all their information, everything that they've been discussing. It's a much more in-depth version of their earnings report. There's a lot of little nuggets in here, and I apologize. I got to be honest, I haven't had a chance to really dive into this just because I've been so busy and so tired. But there's one piece that I really wanted to find. It's something we had talked about, and it was the net cash used in investing activities. I wanted to find out, what does that mean? What are they investing in? And so if we look at this paragraph right here, cash flows from investing activities and their variability across each period related primarily to capital expenditures, which were 7.16 billion for the year ended December 31st, 2022, and 6.48 billion for the year ended December 31st, 2021, mainly for the expansions of Gigafactory Texas, the Fremont factory, Gigafactory Berlin Brandenburg, and Gigafactory Shanghai. So it looks like the majority of those investments were in their factories. So basically, capex spending. We also purchased 5.84 billion of investments in the year ended December 31st, 2022, but they do not break down what those investments are. Is that Giga Nevada? Is that another Gigafactory that they haven't announced yet? You guys can let me know your speculations in the comments because even finishing the paragraph, additionally, cash inflows related to the sales of digital assets were 936 million in the year ended December 31st, 2022, and net cash outflows related to digital assets were 1.23 billion dollars in the year ended December 31st, 2021, from purchases of digital assets for $1.5 billion, offset by proceeds from sales in digital assets of $272 million. So nothing in here indicates what that $5.84 billion of investments is in. So again, I really truly don't know. I don't know if this is something like a new gigafactory. I don't know if it's for the batteries, if it's Giga Nevada. And Tesla did tell us earlier in 2022 that they were going to be increasing their capex spending from 5.7 billion to 6.8 billion dollars. They reiterated that today, discussing that this is going to be happening because they want to invest even more in the battery production. That would lead me to believe that it's for Giga Nevada. So again, I really don't know what this is about. Again, you guys can let me know what your speculation is on this, but this is Tesla investing. So when we talk about buybacks and Tesla having other cash here and there for doing things that we want to make sure that they're investing in innovation, they clearly are. This is what the innovation is, and that's what they're moving towards. And so I'm excited to hear what this is about. We've got Investor Day coming up in a month. And that there, I think they're going to announce again what Connecting the Dots had talked about when it comes to Tesla doing Project Highland and coming out with a manufacturing process that is going to cut costs significantly. I think that is going to be the game changer. That is what is going to be coming out of this. So whether Wall Street understands it or not, I don't know. But anytime a company is going to come out and say, hey, we are about to cut costs by 50%, chances are the stock price is going to go way up. Where the stock price is going to be at that point, I don't know. We do have the FOMC meeting tomorrow again. So I'm not sure which way we're going to move from here. We've been running up very nicely to start off the year. So we may very well have a sell off tomorrow. Or maybe we go in the opposite direction and run. Or maybe we do nothing and then we actually react on Thursday. I know, I say in the Oracle, I can't predict anything. I can't predict anything just like you guys can't predict anything. However, we can kind of put some pieces of the puzzle together and we can prepare ourselves. So while I don't know what the future brings, I have set myself up to be able to handle whatever happens in the future very well. I'm very agile with what I have done with my finances, so regardless of which way we go, I'm going to be pretty darn excited. Because if we run, I'm going to see my portfolio go up. If we fall back, I'm going to see my accumulation of shares go up even higher, even faster, because I can take advantage of those lower prices. And now the only thing I can think of when it comes to the investing that they have going on with that $5.84 billion is something that Warren Redlick had pointed out here. Large shift from money market funds and cash to certificates of deposit, government and corporate bonds. So if you look year ending December 31st, 2021, their cash was $8 billion and their money market funds was $9.5 billion. And ending December 31st, 2022, they had cash of $13.9 billion and money market funds of $2 billion. And they've also shifted money into almost $1 billion worth of US government securities and corporate debt securities, as well as just over $4 billion of certificates of deposit and time deposits. So whether that's the actual investment that they made or if that's just where they shifted their cash to, do not know that information. So with that kind of cash, thinking about how much money that is, thinking about what I'm doing with my portfolio right now, where I'm taking a lot of the cash that I've got on the side to buy some real estate and I'm putting it into CDs, making 4% on that money. If Tesla's going to be doing the same thing, instead of just having all of their money sitting as cash, they can invest that money instead to make more money on that money, but also keeping that money as just cash tells me that Tesla is looking to potentially be investing and maybe spending that money when the time is right. They want to have that money available to them in cash because if the market changes quickly, Tesla will be able to adapt very quickly along with it and maybe make some investments. So that's just my speculation on all of this. I do not know truly what's going on. They didn't say anything about it on the earnings call. This 10K is the closest we have to that information. So all in all, it was an exciting day for Tesla. Again, tomorrow we've got the FOMC meeting, we've got Meta earnings, and then we have Google, Apple, and Amazon earnings on Thursday. Those could also move the market this week. So again, still have some turbulence in front of us potentially. We will see how we trade for the rest of the week, but I am extremely excited going forward. Just so many positive catalysts for us on a fundamental level that regardless of what happens with the stock price going up or down, I'm going to be extremely excited and I'm going to take advantage of anything that we get of the stock price coming down and just buying even more. I still have my goals of 200 shares by the end of the year, and my overall goal is to get to 4,444 shares because 4 is my lucky number, and 4 fours is just going to make that even better. So that's my strategy right there. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support and feedback. If you have not hit that like and subscribe button, please do so down below, and we will see you in the next one.